Sweet. Let's do it.
It's been awesome. I think my first year in business, I'm almost on 2 years now, coming up in May. My first year in business, I think we set a really good foundation for what we're experiencing now. We've had tremendous success over the last year. I believe that, we created a lot of really strong relationships with our guests, did a lot of educating. So I think it's been paying off very well. I'm happy. I love it. It's going great. To me, Clean Juice, the first thing I think of is family. I think about my home office family. Also think about my staff as my family. Also think about our community as our family as well. I think about health. That's what actually brought me to Clean Juice, was just my search for healthy food when I was at work. Just never felt like anything was really healthy enough, So when I was searching for my next venture, that's how I found Clean Juice and knew it was the right thing for me.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned a lot like family.
Yeah.
Because that's the culture.
Of course.
That we want to have here from
Yeah.
a home office standpoint, but then also the reason Clean Juice was built, we wanted to pretty much take over our communities and say hey, we want to invest in you beyond you being a customer.
So one of the things I love is that, now that we're at 100 stores open, it still feels like a small family. I know that could eventually change one day, where I can't just text Landon and expect an answer, in a few minutes. I get that still, which is awesome. But just thinking 100 stores, that's not really small anymore. But it still feels very homey. I can walk in here as I did yesterday. I can walk around into anyone's office, talk to them. I'm welcomed every time, so I love that feeling. Easy. So it's core value number 4. I looked it up the other day. I know what it is, I just didn't know the number. It's we are grinders. I've always worked really hard and really long. It's just, my dad's an immigrant to the United States. My whole childhood, I rarely saw my dad. He'd work 14 hours a day, every day, 7 days a week. So at a young age, I was always I knew that working hard was really important. I knew why my dad was working hard, to give us more than he ever had. So then I met my wife, who's like-minded like me, who works really super hard to achieve goals. We are hoping that our children can see that, our hard work is to achieve goals and show them that, if you put in the effort and you never give up, you can achieve whatever goal you're trying to achieve. So I always look at myself as a hardcore grinder. My favorite Clean Juice product is the double one. So I love it because it has protein in it, can be a meal replacement. I love that it kind of sneaks some greens in there without being super intense, like the intense one. And I always add vanilla and cinnamon to mine every time. It's so you get a little bit of spice and sweetness. And anytime anyone orders, that's the first thing I say. And I've got a lot of customers that regularly order it that way now. I really love that we're always looking for ways to improve. I think we have an awesome business, but what I really love is that we're never settling. We're always, that's what this whole meeting has been about, is what are we doing next? How are we improving the things that are already working well? How can we just take that up a little bit every little time? And it's in previous businesses that I've owned, it's just been so stale. So back to what I had said before, it's this is a family. We can talk openly, we can disagree openly, and that's totally respected. And so I love that. I love being a part of this, what still feels like a small community, but it's actually not. I mean, there are a lot of people involved in Clean Juice, but it doesn't feel that way. Well, I definitely would, no doubt. I would, because I also know the other side of other franchises because I've been in other franchises. I still am a part of another franchise. So I always get to compare. Where a lot of people, they may be coming from corporate world or out of college or whatever, so they really have no comparison. So they may not even know how great it is here because they've never had anything to compare it to. They've never been a business owner or whatever. So my selling point is like, I just know how much better this company is versus other companies that I've been with. You know, I definitely think that health is not just a trend, that this is the way of the future. If you want to get on board with something that is smart, you can feel really good about, you can feel really proud about, you know, we're not selling French fries here. So, you know, you get to go home happy. You meet guests that come in for reasons that you wouldn't even think of. You know, I can't tell you how many people come in, grab 4 cold pressed juices and say, I'm on the way to the hospital to drop these off to my relative because this is what they're not eating hospital food. I'm giving them this. You know how that makes you feel? Like, wow, I made this thing that a stranger is gonna take to somebody to improve their health. Like, it's crazy. And that's the stuff that I didn't even realize before I was doing this. I was just happy to be offering health. Like, hey, we want to be healthy. This is great. But now when I'm in it and the people that we've met and the stories that we've heard, it's way more than I expected. Emotionally, it's amazing. So definitely knowing what is on the horizon for us, I'm really excited about, with the core value of we aren't stopping here, we're starting here. It just keeps the fuel going for what is to come. You know, it's perfectly said because it's like we're starting, every time we're having these meetings or these conversations, it's not just like one little thing like, oh, we're gonna change this thing and it's gonna be awesome. It's like, we're looking into many, 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 many things all the time because we're constantly trying to improve. And if you're not trying to improve all the time, then you're just not right for this. Like, you have to be doing that because people's moods change, people's habits change. Like, if you're not changing with our guests, then you're not going to survive. Like, it's just not going to be successful for you. So I love that we're always ahead of that, and that's always top mind. What are we doing to continuously improve? Yes, we're doing great. That's awesome. But how do we keep that going, and how can we do better?